I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence for the men and women in the armed forces, our veterans, our first responders, those fighting the good fight in Ukraine, those who are suffering from military conflict in the Middle East, and a special memorial to Governor Jody Rowe, who served this community and the state of Connecticut well. May her memory be eternal. Thank you. Katie, if you could do the American Creed, please.
Sure. America's Creed by William Tyler Page. I believe in the United States of America
as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, with just power is derived from the consent of the governed, democracy in a republic, a sovereign nation, many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, which American patriots sacrificed their lives for fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to the country to love it, to support its constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies. Thank you. And Sal, do you have anybody that would like to speak in public at this stage?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Katie Francis.
Kate Francis, 123 Canada Mountain Road. I'm here because it seems to be a very good way to reach our town and people who care enough to watch this council meeting on a bi-weekly basis, I think want to hear what happens. So I want you all to hear this. That today was truly a blockbuster day for our town. As a resident and as a volunteer, I want to say heartfelt thanks to the entire New Milford community for their incredible generosity and support through donations, individuals as well as many businesses. As many of you know, Operation Thanksgiving has been going on for a little over 6 weeks or so, gathering food to fill bags with all of the items needed to make a Thanksgiving dinner, and then the people who are going to receive those bags would get a turkey, a frozen turkey. And today was the distribution, and we had all 338 didn't show up today. Some will come tomorrow and pick up at social services, but that's how many that we served. And the reason that we were able to go beyond what we did in the past and last year is because of the outpouring of dollars to buy some turkeys, canned goods from November 2nd on the green when we had our big drive up and drop off. And it's gratitude to the volunteers I also want to give, and that's the volunteers of United Way, who I work for part-time, and the Women's Club of New Milford. All of the hard work that went into prepping for this event, which means opening bags, putting things in, counting cans, buying cans, it made today's distribution of over 300 bags of Thanksgiving meal items and the turkey run like clockwork because of all the work that went on behind the scenes. One company in our town, I'm not going to say who they are because I wasn't sure they would like it, but they donated 2,200 pounds of canned goods. Now that's, I can tell you, because I was there to sort it, it was a lot of canned goods. I also want to give a big high five to our social services director, Ivana Butera, and their staff for unwavering commitment every single day. You know, what I'm telling you happened a few days in the last 6 weeks. Every single day, they assist people who are facing challenges and making ends meet and having other issues in their life. The dedication of our social services staff makes a real difference in keeping our community moving forward in a positive and a compassionate way. And I think when you get involved in these types of events, it's just, I see it more, I know it's there, but I see it up close and very clearly that they are a wonderful group of people. We are very fortunate to have such a strong and caring community. I think those of us that are out and about, like people that are on this council, we work together to support one another, and I want to thank everybody that gave, for their generosity and their teamwork. It was truly a great day for the best town in the USA.
Thank you, Katie.
I don't have anybody else, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Next, if with the permission of the council, I'd like to move up number 8 before we go to the consent agenda. We have our wonderful student advisory board from the youth agency to come and give us a presentation, if that's okay with everyone.
Sure
All
thing.
right. Come on up, guys.
Good evening. My name is Alex Wolf. On behalf of the Student Advisory Board, I want to tell you about the success for our Friday the 13th Teen Movie Night, which had over 150 local teens in attendance. The Student Advisory Board is working on organizing 1 or 2 more teen nights this winter. We came up with 2 ideas: a teen skate night and a DJ party with bouncy houses and other inflatables. We're working out the details, so we'll keep everyone posted on that. Additionally, prior to coming here tonight, 14 members of the Student Advisory Board met with Kathy Hanley from Western Connecticut Coalition. She invited us to be a part of a roundtable discussion about vaping. She works on the nicotine and vaping prevention. The information she collected from the discussion is going to be used for their own internal research, which they will use to help make the community as a whole and individuals more aware of these topics within our region. The discussion centered around collecting information to get a sense of what is going on regarding vaping. Some of the questions they asked at the roundtable were: what age did we first become aware? How many peers do we think are vaping? Do our friends who vape know and or acknowledge it's harmful? She also asked questions regarding risk factors and what we think can be done to prevent vaping and nicotine usage. What messaging exists that may lead to vaping is harmful, and where do we get information about vaping? Are conversations with parents happening regarding the risks? Where are kids vaping, etc.? Some of these conversations will continue at the Community Youth Forum taking place next week, which the Youth Agency Director, Jason, will go further in depth on later tonight. As always, thank you for your interest and support, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Outstanding. And, speaking on behalf of the town itself, very, very proud of you guys. Taking a leadership role, doing these events for teens, which is amazing, and looking forward to you coming back and letting us know about these next 2 events. And I know the Friday the 13th movie was very successful, which was great over at Lendemi. A good partnership with you and Parks and Rec. So you're bringing together all this community, so it's great. Very, very proud of you guys. Ms. King?
Skating, ice, roller? what-
Ice.
Oh,
Yeah, we were looking into Canterbury, but that didn't pan out, so we're looking for other avenues to go about that.
I see. Okay.
Any other
Potentially
questions?
Danbury.
Oh, good.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, Katie. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, item number 4, A and B, I'd like to move to accept both 4A and 4B.
One second. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you.
Item 5, I will do these separately. Item 5A, I'd like to move that we approve the Parks and Rec request to accept the following donation to be put into the New Milford Park and Recreation Gift Fund. $3,100 from the Litchfield County Irish American Club for the purchase of a park bench and a plaque in memory of Patrick J. McGuire. The bench will match those that are currently on the town green. Parks and Rec would like to thank the Litchfield Irish American Club for their generosity. You have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Any abstentions? Yep, Doug. So Doug and Tom, those vote in the affirmative.
Item 5B, I'd like to move we approve the request for a donation to Parks and Rec of a Christmas tree generously given by Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Prouse of New Milford to be placed at the entrance front of Town Hall. The New Milford Parks and Recreation Department would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Kraus for their continued generosity.
And that's the tree. Thank you, Paul. That's the tree that you see out in front of Town Hall. And they do this each and every year. We can't thank them enough for what they do. Great generosity. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Right.
Thank you. Any abstentions? Okay.
Item 6B, I'd like to move that we approve a donation of $200. This is for the Commission on the Arts. They have two requests. The first A is $200 from Distinct Storage of New Milford to purchase luminaries for the Carol Sing on the Green on December 14th, which segues, they request that the donation be put in the Arts Commission consultants account. And item B is that the Arts Commission requests our permission to close the Southern Crossover on Saturday, December 14th, 2024, from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. for the annual Carol Sing on the Green, and that pending Traffic Authority approval.
Second.
Any discussion? And then right after the Carol Scene is Parade of Lights.
Yes. Okay.
It's going to be awesome. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any negatives? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, item 7A, I'd like to move that we approve the request from the New Milford Police Department to accept 7A, $100 cash donation from an anonymous donor to be used toward the wellness of our officers. And item 7B, a cash donation from Touch Truck event that happened last month for their K9 unit. The total of that donation is $228.
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
And going to number 9, Mayor's Comments.
Thank you, Katie. Just real quick, a couple of things. First is on November 15th, I stopped in to see George Snyder. For those that know George, celebrated his 100th birthday. And also, George is a World War II veteran. I want to thank Village Crest for allowing me to go in and help celebrate his birthday. It was great to see George, and again, happy birthday. I want to congratulate the New Milford Youth Basketball 8th grade boys team. They won the Milford Tip-Off Tournament, and they went 4-0 undefeated on the weekend. So congratulations to the 8th grade boys team. And also thank you and good job to the New Milford ladies 8th grade basketball team. They participated in the Sideline Cancer Jamboree at Pomperaugh High School this past weekend. Also, Marissa, who is a Special Olympics member here in New Milford, had a great gold medal performance in bowling, so we want to congratulate Marissa, outstanding job. And for the whole Special Olympics bowling team that was out and bowling at their bowling tournament. Also want to thank Chief Ceruto, who's here tonight, and the men and the women of the Milford Police Department, and those that graduated. This is our 5th class of the Citizens Academy. So congratulations to all the graduates, 5 of them already. And thank you to all the men and women in the Milford Police Department for doing this wonderful academy. Congratulations to our DPW team members who graduated from the Yukon T2 Center in the Connecticut Training and Technical Assist Center. And what that does is it improves the quality and safety of our service transportation system through interactive relationships and information exchange. T2 Center is driven by these relationships and is known for its ability to enrich the knowledge base of our stakeholders. Their mission is to foster a safe, efficient, environmentally sound surface transportation system, improving the skills and increasing the knowledge of transportation workforce in Connecticut. So our New Milford graduates: Matt Sweeney, Public Works Academy; Ali, I'm probably going to mispronounce the last name, Ali, so if you're watching, Tuuli, Public Works Academy; Charles Coakley, Roadmasters Program; Fred Gordon, Roadmasters Program; Chris Jurgens, who's here tonight, Roadmasters Program; Jason Hyde, Safety Academy Program; Chuck Ballard, Safety Academy Program and Local Traffic Authority Program. Just want to congratulate them and thank you, Jack, as we continue to focus on training and providing that training to continue to produce excellence here in the town. So congratulations to those DPW members and their accomplishment. I also want to congratulate the soccer club of New Milford U12 Goats, and they won 6-0 and are the Northwest Soccer Champions. So congratulations to them. Also was able to stop down to the New Milford High School for their Honor Society Juvenile Diabetes Walk that happened last week. And thank you to Reagan. Isabella Reagan is the president of the Honor Society. Isabella, I believe, is the treasurer, and all of the Honor Society and their advisors for a great fundraiser for that. And as you walk around the track, and all sorts of great information on juvenile diabetes. And I think that it was a great event that they put on. Also want to thank the New Milford librarian Kathy Riley and the entire library team. This past Saturday, they did the Return of the Wizard World event. They had over 600 participants, and that was the second largest event that they had at the library. The first one obviously being the grand opening. The great news with the library, and speaking with Kathy, we've seen over a 25% uptick in people using the library. So that's great. We're going to continue to build on that success, so congratulations to Kathy and the whole team. I also want to thank Paul and Lynn, the owners of Paul's Custom Pet Foods. This past Saturday night, they had a sold-out pups giving at their store on 84 Railroad Street. And that event raised funds towards those pets that were affected during the hurricane in Western North Carolina. And what that was people brought their dogs and actually had a Thanksgiving dinner for their dogs. And also wanted to thank Tony Vengrove, Beatty Provisions, Litchfield Distilleries, as they helped partner with this. Is going to be an annual event, and they'll be having some more events that I'll be telling the council as well. Also thank you to Gallery 25 as they had their Holiday Arts and Fine Crafts show. I stopped in there on Saturday and they had their reception. There's some great paintings, photography, crafts, and more. If you get a chance, stop down there. They got some great gifts. They also have some wonderful ornaments that you can buy as well. And it all helps keep Gallery 25 and our artists going. And that show runs until January 12th. Also, thank you to St. Francis Church. They had their holiday fair. Myself and my wife, we went there and they had some great vendors. Had some baked goods in it too, which is good. And also want to thank I-95's Ethan and Lou and Large Dave. So I was on their morning show Saturday, where they also talked about food security we had here in New Milford. And also they did a fundraising event for the Hillside Food Outreach Program. And thank you to them for doing that each and every year to help those in need. Also want to thank Children's Center Director Andrea Malvinoff. Andrea, I apologize if I'm butchering your name. And the Board of Directors and the staff as they had their Friendsgiving luncheon last week. It was great to see, as we all know that have been on the council, the amazing stuff the Children's Center does, not only for the kids, but also for the parents. And some great programs that were happening. Also want to thank Faith Prep second grade teacher Grace Golosky. In the second grade class, I went and I talked to them about the importance of municipal government in New Milford, and they already knew a whole bunch of stuff already.
Really?
So that was very amazing. So thank you for letting us do that. And just as a brief update again, our community donations were making their way down to the Asheville, North Carolina area. And again, a big shout out to Home Depot, New Vance, the Danbury, and the New Milford Hospital, Rings End, Scott's Nursery, New Milford Medical Shop, Mark and Mitz Burroughs of CAC Industries, and they brought a lot of the small generators. Also New Milford Fitness, dentist Glenn Wilson, Melissa Martins, Lynn Harrington for their wonderful donations. Also want to thank the New Milford Police Force, Chief Ceruto, and the New Milford PD as they did some great fundraising in tandem with Home Depot. I want to thank Pat and Mike Erickson also for helping out with that, and just a wonderful outpouring of our residents as they do giving in need to those people in Asheville, North Carolina. Also want to thank Clancy Relocation and Logistics for transporting our New Milford donations. They're also doing that for the Brewster, and also going to be doing that down for the Danbury, as they're going to do a fundraiser too, so that's great. And I know, Katie, you were going to mention the company that gave 2,200 pounds, but I'm going to, and that's Neeltran. Thank you for their wonderful employees, as they gave a great amount of food to social services.
Can I say something about how they did this? In last year, they also had a collection of, but what they did was, because there's a person who works there who's in charge of these types of things, happens to be related to Mayor, his daughter. But they came up with you must create something using cans and only cans. It was a competition, you had to do a sculpture. And they were absolutely fantastic. Even the guy who had his in a big metal thing and it fell apart was still a very good sculpture. But there was a dog, a train. Anyway, it was 2,200 pounds of cans. And I can tell you that one volunteer and myself did it in 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if you ever want to know for trivia. But Neeltran is fantastic.
Yep, and always Highland Organics too.
Oh, yes.
That
yes.
all the time gives wonderfully to our food bank.
They
Can't
certainly
forget
do.
them as well.
Mountain High.
Also want to thank the Irish Club as they did their veterans dinner at the VFW, and thank the volunteers that were there, besides the Irish Club and Councilman Cosgrove, who's the president of that. The students from the youth agency were there. Girl Scouts, we gave out Girl Scout cookies to the veterans. You had Canterwood Valley, who was giving out pies there as well. Talia did the food preparation, and the proceeds of that's going to go towards the Wreaths of America. And their goal is to make sure, especially at St. Francis Cemetery, that all of our veterans have a wreath this year, which is amazing.
Which is over 400.
Yep,
And thanks to the Irish group, they're giving us 200.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Milford Cadets, Chief, as they did their Thanksgiving food drive to benefit families in need at Stop and Shop. So thank you to the cadets and to the officers that are the mentors of the cadet program. And thank you to the Sarah Noble PTO President Deborah Torme and the PTO and Principal Bilko, as we did bingo night there, which was great for the kids. And it was great seeing all of the parents and students that were participating. And you know, with bingo, you gotta know some math. So there are different types of bingo that they were doing. Also, if you can see in the downtown, we're preparing for our Christmas holiday season. Thanking our Park and Rec, our DPW teams, also our wonderful garden club, as they continue to make this bandstand in the area beautiful. And we'll continue with those type of updates for the council. And then a couple of other things, 3 veterans, which is our recycling center managers. They do that for us. They actually do the NIPS and garbage pickup. So today they went to Aspetuck Ridge Road, which is about 2.79 miles. They picked up 92 pounds of garbage, 55 NIPS, 107 redeemables. So can't thank them enough for picking that up. And again, we use that money from the allocation that we get from the state to actually put that money to good use and actually do what it's supposed to do. And that's to clean up the environment. So thank you very much to 3 veterans for doing that. Jumping on some infrastructure items, the Milford Sidewalk Project continues down by Sullivan Road and in the Milford High School area. For those, for today, the contractor is doing some excavation work by the Ives Bank area, which used to be the Savings Bank in Danbury, but they changed their name. And they're also doing the sidewalk installation and concrete pour at Sullivan Road and Route 7 area. And speaking with Jack, as long as the weather is continuing to hold, they're going to continue to work on that project in that area to get it done quicker. So let's hope for continued good weather. Continue also on some of the infrastructure that we have, Katie. Let me grab it here. Bridge work that we are doing, Mariel Road. They're installing the guardrail today. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have some very, very good news for the residents in Mariel. Also, Brookside Avenue, this is a bridge we're going to do in 2025. They are looking to put that out to bid. Van Car Road, that's a $2.9 million construction. We are waiting on approvals for that. Sand Road, which is a $2.1 million project. And these, Jack, these are all 100%, am I correct?
Yeah, those last two are 100%
Yep.
funded.
Old Boardman Bridge that we're all interested in. The DPW team is putting in the application, which was submitted to LOTSIP to WestCog for them to review it. As we all know, we're trying to get grant funding to bring that bridge back up to a walkability standard, and that will help with our Riverwalk and with Sega Meadows, that whole area there. Our safety improvement projects, the school zone, we're waiting for the the ballards or the pole holders, I guess, for a better term.
Support, yeah.
And we're supposed to be getting that ship date on the 26th. Then our DPW team will install those lights, as we talked about before. This is all in our efforts to create additional safety, especially on Route 7, because they will be at the Milford High School Faith Prep. That's a reduction of 10 miles per hour. If you go past those speed limits, it's extra points on your license and a heavier fine. And we'll continue to update the council on that. Grove Street intersection study, that's another LOTSIP grant that we're asking for. And that, as we know, the town council approved. That'll be the first town light that we will own. And that's gonna be in the intersection of Hine Hill and of Grove Street. The East Street intersection and redesign. So for those that know, this has been a few years in the making, but this again is grant funding. So the goal is, for those that know where this is, East Street, and you have Elm, where the hospital is. We're looking to widen that and put in a left-hand lane as you're coming north. So that'll relieve the congestion that we're seeing that builds all the way to Grove Street. So WMC is the engineer on that, and they're developing the final design plans to send, we sent that to Connecticut DOT, and then we're waiting for the review by our designer, Friedman. The Wellsville Avenue reconstruction project, and that's the one we're gonna do a full reclaim on Wellsville Road and do the sidewalks as well, that's WMC, and they're developing with Jack and with Chuck the final design plans. We'll bring that back to the town council and complete it. And then the traffic audit that we're all waiting to get the final from is the Connecticut DOT has received that, as we know, and they're making their final reviews. Once those come back to us, we will bring that back to the town council and to the public and let them know more about what their solutions are for Route 7 to reduce traffic. Gaylord's Road for the construction, that's been completed. We're waiting for a new guardrail there. Legion Road, that project's been complete. And Candlewood Lake Road North, because we had such good weather, we were able to do a lot of the drainage work before we do a mill. We'll continue with that. And then today, there were some of the catch top basins that we had put in. They're actually putting in the asphalt patches there. And then what we'll do is button that down for the winter, and then be able to do the mill and pave there. So thank you to our DPW team and contractor for doing all that hard work and getting stuff done, as we've had some great weather to do that type of work. Also, some updates on a few other items. First, the homeless shelter. So I've been meeting with the two ARTs and the Homeless Shelter Coalition. They had their first opening of the homeless shelter, which was last night. And thank you to the two ARTs and all of the community that's going to be helping with the homeless shelter. And again, that's where we open up in the winter time. And I'll be giving updates to the council and to the public on the homeless shelter. I spoke with Charles Bogey, and Loaves and Fishes will be open on Thanksgiving Day at their new location. I'll provide an update to the council at the next meeting on Loaves and Fishes, and that's our soup kitchen. And then, as Katie talked a little bit about, just some updated on social services and speaking with Ivana Butera. Our food bank continues to serve over 300 people a week. That's been an uptick from last year. Our Santa Fund, right now we have 500 children that have already signed up for the Santa Fund. And I don't know if you can see this on here, those that are doing it, but it'll also be on the mayor's Facebook page. For those that have the ability to do so, we are asking for individuals to help out and donate to the Santa Fund. And speaking with Yvonne Butera, it takes up between $100 and $150 to actually be a sponsor of one child, but you could do $25. If we can get 4 people, 5 people to do that together, that helps those children in need. So please, if you can at all, small donation, or if you have the ability to do so, please help social services when it comes to our Santa Fund. Both on the senior center and on the social services, fuel assistance applications are coming in. They're going to be a little bit larger than normal, obviously, for inflation, and then we had the increases in electric rates as well. So if you feel yourself that you do need that help, please contact social services, or if you're 60 years of age or older, please contact the senior center. Our municipal agents or social workers will be glad to help you when it comes to fuel assistance. Also at the senior center, the same as the Children's Fund, you can adopt a senior for Christmas time. And that's a great, there's some seniors that unfortunately don't have the funds to have a Christmas. So there's an opportunity to do that. You can contact Jasmine at the senior center for more information when it comes to that.
That's a great idea. Great idea.
Also, and I know Jason is here today as well. I think it was week before last, Jason, was it, or last? They kind of run into each other. The New Milford can and the youth agency, which Jason gave the kind of the presentation. This was to stakeholders. They're having a community forum, and that's going to be at Sarah Noble School from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And this is to discuss the survey that was given to our young adults, and that was in the 8th, 10th, and 12th grades. And some of it, I think, is very important for our community to know. I think it's very important so that we as a community can help, especially those students. And I don't know, Jason, if you want to give just a real brief overview. And again, this is going to be from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Sarah Noble School. And thank you to the Milford Can, Jason, you as well.
Thanks, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. So this is a survey that's in its 4th rendition. We, in partnership with New Milford Can, our local prevention council, the public schools, and the youth agency. The plan was to do it every 2 years, starting in 2017, 2019. COVID happened, so then we went to 2022 and then 2024. It's the Search Institute's Attitudes and Behaviors Survey. It looks at the internal and external assets within our youth. In addition, which is greatly appreciated by the students shared it earlier, there's added vaping questions. So that conversation they were having earlier tonight is definitely poignant in the sense that this survey also touches on those vaping behaviors and attitudes. These are not just our school students, these are your neighbors, these are the kids going into your businesses, they're in the parks, they're in town green. It's everyone's responsibility to see how we can support our kids in this community, come together as one town and kind of learn where our kids are struggling, but where our kids are succeeding, look at their strengths, their resiliency, and come together as one community. So that is at Sarah Noble, it's in the cafeteria. You will hear a presentation by myself, and then there will be breakout sessions, randomized, and you can continue that conversation with your fellow New Milford residents, community members, stakeholders. So I hope to see everyone there, and then the whole point is to keep this going. You know, myself and New Milford Can members will be open to go to any groups wanting to learn more about the assets, developmental relationships, how to become an asset builder, and kind of continue that work so it's not just a one and done survey presentation.
I know one of the things that I know yourself and Diane, who runs the Pratt Center, really focused on, and leadership as well from New Milford Can, is making sure this just doesn't get lost, that
Correct.
we all need to really publicize this and get the input, because some of these numbers that you'll see if you do go there are concerning numbers. There's also some great numbers too about the resiliency of our kids. There's also some concerning numbers that I think we as a community need to look at holistically and see if there's additional ways that we can really help.
Yeah, it's their perspective. Us adults in this room may, have another kind of understanding of reality, but it's a youth's perspective, especially those 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. And you ideally would like to see those 2-year trends with assets going up rather than down. So it is the youth's perspective. It's an honest perspective. We do hold focus groups and say, hey, do you guys agree with this data? A lot of area schools and regions also do the Search Institute's attitudes and behavior surveys. So it's just a great opportunity for us to look what's trending, what's paramount with our youth, and how we can support them and include them in the conversation.
Great.
Tuesday, tomorrow, Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Next
Third.
December. Yep.
December 3rd.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. And then on December 2nd, for now, right here at Town Hall, 5:30 p.m., we may be moving it due to the fact that there is a lot of interest in this. I've asked Eversource to come down. Also, we'll have our state senator, Steve Harding, and I know we have at least one of our state reps that will be here as well. And what it is understanding our electric bills and energy efficiency. So I've asked Eversource to come to explain to our public here as to what your energy bill is really made up of. So you have your how your energy is derived, right, from the supplier, and then you have your energy that is transmitted over the wires, Eversource wires, and then you have your social benefits charge, which has 41 components in it. Some of it is people that were in arrears that we are paying for. Some of it is the Millstone nuclear plant. Some of it is EV charging stations. Some of it is the solar chargers that are on your house. So all of these make up your electric bill. So there's been a lot of different pontification as to why that is. And I think it behooves us as a community to know how they derive from that, what the costs are. And ladies and gentlemen, and those that are watching tonight, this is not going away. It's going to be even more. You're going to be looking at an increase in utility rates in January, and you're going to look at a utility increase in, guess what, July. And this is going to keep going. So I think we need to have a robust conversation, and at least we can prepare as a community here, and then maybe be able to give our input to the governor and also to the state legislator as well. See if there's other options that we can do to lower these costs for all of us. So please, I invite everybody to come to this meeting. I think it's real important to kind of know how you derive your bill. Like, why is that the way that it is? Comparative to our community, and then we can even look at communities outside of Connecticut. When I mean communities, state of Connecticut. Staying on statistics, I spoke with Chief Ceruto and our New Milford statistics for motor vehicles. So as we all know, conscientious effort to really hone in on those speeding, reckless driving, really trying to tapping that down, especially in our major arteries, whether it be Route 7, Grove Street, whether it be Route 202. All these areas are our major arteries and feeders into our regular road systems. So to date in 2023, the police department had pulled over 2,024. This time, as of this year, it's been 3,026. That's an increase of 1,078 or 55% increase.
So tickets.
That's stops.
Stops.
Yep. Motor vehicle accidents in 2023, there was 823. In 2024, we've seen an increase, it's 995. That's an increase of 172 or 17%. One of the other things that has increased too is in DUIs. In 2023, we had 22. In 2024, the police department has pulled over 54 for DUIs. That's an increase of 32, or an increase of 145%. Now with the state DOT, and I know what the chief has really been focused on, as well as all of us have, is fatalities. You know, the big push for the state is to lower their fatalities. Obviously, one is too many in any community. Last year in 2023, we had 5. This year in 2024, we've had 2 unfortunate fatalities. The goal obviously is to get it to 0, but it's still a reduction. Moving on to overdoses, that's been a big thing that we've always focused on. And speaking with the chief, looking at some past data, so total overdoses in the year 2019, there was 35. In the year 2020, there was 31. In the year 2021, 19. In the year 2022, 18. In the year 2023, 14. So far this year, 9. So we've seen a reduction, and that I think has a lot to do with awareness, a lot to do with resources that this town council has helped. We also have the opioid settlement committee that's given us some great appropriations to help as well. So again, obviously we don't want any, but that's what we have so far. And then overdose deaths. So in the year 2019 we had 5. In the year 2020 we had 4. In the year 2021 we had 1. In the year 2022 we had 4. And so far this year, 2023, we've had 3. Or we haven't got the 2024 results yet. So in 2023 we had 3. As soon as I get the results for 2024, I will let the town council know. So very promising data. Obviously we don't want to have any at all, but you can see the data with our efforts is paying some dividends. And then lastly, a couple of events that we have going on. Obviously, Thanksgiving is Thursday, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Then on Friday, on the 29th, the Milford Historical Society is starting off their small business Saturday with their weekend craft sale. So Friday it starts at 5 to 8, and Saturday they do it 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then we have on November 29th, 30th, December 1st, Goat Boy is doing their open house from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then on November 30th, 9 a.m., Run Santa Run starts. The Kids Fun Run at 9:30, the 5K at 10 a.m. Then on November 30th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the First Congregational Church Holiday Craft Market. Lots of great vendors and wonderful presents that you could buy. Also November 30th at 3 p.m. is the Larson Family Christmas Concert on the Green. Then on November 30th, 5:30 p.m. is the annual tree lighting. And we're gonna have a special guest, I heard. It's coming down from the North Pole. And then we're having also on the 30th at 6 p.m. at the First Congregational Church, a live nativity. And then on December 1st at Kimberly Farm from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. is the tree and cow lighting on the farm. That ought to be cool. Also on December 1st, 1 p.m. at O'Connor's, they're doing the benefit pool tournament for Izzy Anderson. So if you get a chance to go down and help with that benefit.
When is that? 6th?
That's on the 1st at 1 p.m. at O'Connor's. On December 5th through the 28th, they have the evening performances at 8 p.m. Matinee performances at 2 p.m. At Theater Works, it's Jesus Christ Superstar. Great performances. If you haven't seen that play, definitely get a chance to go down and see it. It's a very good play. December 6th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the Sip and Stroll. Always a great event. December 7th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Litchfield Crossings is the Stuff a Cruiser, Milford Police Department. And again, a great fundraiser and also a toy drive to help our social services for those youngsters in need. Also 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Pettibone, the Women's Club's doing their annual bazaar. And then at 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Oddfellows, they're also doing their toy drive. They'll have some vendors there as well, some refreshments as well. On December 7th as well, 9 a.m. If you can make it, please do so. The VFW, we're doing our Pearl Harbor observance ceremony. The chief and I go to those annually. It's a great way to pay our respect. And as has been stated, may we never forget. December 7th also, Santa's going to be in the park at Heritage Park. Also on the 7th, 7 p.m., lots of stuff, right?
Yeah.
At the Walnut Hill Church, refreshments at 6 p.m. is the Charlie Brown Christmas Concert. Then on December 8th, from noon to 5 p.m. at 19 Main, they're doing their downtown Christmas market. December 8th, 4 p.m. at the First Congregational Church, Christmas concert for the adult choir and bell ringers. If you haven't heard the bell ringers from there, they do great stuff. December 13th at Faith Church, they're doing their greatest show, a Christmas musical. And then on December 14th, 9 a.m. to noon at the St. John's Church, the indoor farmers market starts. So I'll be giving the council and the public more information when I receive it on the indoor farmers market.
That's when, the 7th?
December 14th.
Oh, 14th.
Yep. Then December 14th, 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Max is the Children's Holiday Bazaar. Then on the 14th at the bandstand, the annual Carol Sing on the Green. It's great to hear everybody singing. It's a great time. We continue to get more and more people, and then I think a lot of them too come to the Carol Sing, and then they wait at 7 p.m. for the holiday parade of lights. And I know we have Sean from Waterwitch here. Sean, how many vehicles so far do you have for the parade of lights?
Looking at probably about 150 out of 200. Well, we're getting 1,300 for last year.
That's going to be outstanding. And for those on December 14th, thank you to Bank Street Theaters. 10 a.m., 10:30, and 11:30 a.m. Polar Express the movie. So it's a great thing to see actually at the movie house as well. On December 15th, downtown in Milford shops are doing a cookie and cocoa crawl. So you can go to each of the shops and get yourself some of the wonderful cookies and some cocoa.
That's what I need.
And thank you to Maria, who was here before with the youth agency. Is at 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Max. They're doing their holiday celebration for our neurodivergent youth. And then the Congregational Church at 7 p.m. is doing their, on the 24th, their Christmas Eve service. And on the 28th, St. John's, another indoor farmers market. So
Can I add something?
you
It was
certainly
left off.
can, absolutely.
The 14th, that Saturday, is the Wreaths Across America, all across America, and Center Cemetery and St. Francis, where I will be. Both cemeteries have services. It starts at exactly at noon. It's nice to just be, you don't have to be there very long. The ceremonies are pretty short, and then people go out and volunteer to put the wreaths on the various veterans' graves. So if anybody is out and about that day, choose a cemetery and drop by. I think you'll find it
And it's
very nice.
a very, very touching ceremony.
A lot of veterans there
Yeah.
to thank if you want.
Absolutely. I know, Paul, you're there all the time as well. Just please, if you get a chance to see those either at St. Francis or at Center Cemetery, and help put on. It's a very humbling experience when you put a wreath on a veteran's tombstone.
And we say their name. It's one of those things that you're never forgotten if you know.
And that's all I got for you.
That's all?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
So I just
okay.
have a quick question.
Yes.
Did you hire somebody for the economic development assistant?
Yes. I was going to get on that, on our economic development
Oh, okay.
thing that I have here. I think it's the last,
Oh, okay.
last thing.
Right.
All right, I was just wondering.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll move to item number 12. And I'd like to move that we,
You got the tax assessor.
oh, I forgot about number 10. Brian, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was so wrapped up in all the events. Number 10, tax assessor.
Okay, for the record, Brian Lastra, tax assessor for the town of New Milford. I'm here tonight on, there's 3 tax abatements on the agenda for tonight's meeting. The first one, 9 Pickett District Road. This pertains to a 1-story manufacturing addition to an existing building. The new addition is about 1,300 square feet, and the existing building measures about 1,750 square feet. So this, more or less a custom auto body repair business. They're involved in manufacturing, where they create custom body parts and also body panels for custom vehicles. So it's not your typical auto body repair. They work on specialized cars, and like I said, it's more of a fabricating and manufacturing type of business. So I looked at the ordinance, looked at the property. The property's located in the industrial zone. That's one of the criteria for a tax abatement. The use is manufacturing, fabrication. And then finally, the cost of the improvements exceeds our minimum investment required, which is $50,000. So I've given you the breakdown of the current assessment and the anticipated increase. So the current assessment for the land and existing building is $186,700. They're currently paying $5,550 a year in real property taxes. So that doesn't change. The abatement would apply to the addition, and the assessment there I've calculated to be $70,630, which results in a tax of $2,100. So you'd be abating $2,100 if you approve this abatement. Obviously, there's business personal property involved. That's not subject to an abatement, and I've estimated that to be about $2,000 per year in taxes for the business personal property that will be part of this addition. So any questions or comments?
Just as an aside here, so again, so the council knows that watching can understand, the difference in the property taxes is how much?
What would be the abatement in terms of taxes?
Yes.
Yeah, so the abatement, if you approve it, would be $2,100 per year in taxes.
And that's for 5 years.
That's 5 years. So that's an abatement of $10,500 over the 5-year period. They will continue to pay based on the existing assessment, and that would be $27,750 they would pay over the 5-year period.
So currently, how much is their taxes?
Currently, it's $5,550 per year.
And do you know how much motor vehicle property, what their
Yeah, the business personal property tax currently is around $1,000 a year.
So in essence, just to correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but if we're looking at this as a 30-year payout, right? 20-year
Right.
payout differential.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing this tax abatement, if you run it over 20 years, just this one alone brings an additional, just in the property tax, $111,000
Mm-hmm.
to the taxpayers.
Yep, over the long term.
Yep. And then that doesn't include the differential for any kind of property.
Yep.
Taxes.
Yeah, plus this building was
Machinery.
this building was empty before he purchased it, and it was wasn't contributing much
Right.
to the grand list in terms of business personal property. Yeah.
So I just think it's important that we do help our businesses. We want them to be here, we want them to function, and we want them to contribute. So something like this, I think, would really help businesses in general, and I think that more people should be asking honestly, because in the big scheme of things, $2,100 is not much for the town, but it is a lot for the business.
True. Right.
Any other discussion on this one?
I didn't
Oh,
make a
I'm sorry.
motion yet. I'd like to move that we approve the abatement for 9 Pickett District Road.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Any abstentions? Thank you.
Okay.
Brian, the next one?
Yep, the next one, 48 Still River Drive. So this was quite a large construction project. This involves the construction of a new one-story office warehouse, measures over 9,000 square feet. It's going to be the corporate headquarters for E. Garrity Water Solutions. So you probably noticed this building, it's almost complete. They're busy getting ready to get the parking lot paved, but the building is pretty much done. E. Garrity Water Solutions, currently located in New Preston. So, you know, in a way, we're lucky that we're attracting a business to move from New Preston, town of Washington, to New Milford. And it's a, you know, high-profile location on Still River Drive. So they'll be using that building for a small office in the front, and then the remainder will be storage and servicing of their construction equipment. And they also own quite a number of motor vehicles. So again, this meets the tax abatement ordinance criteria. It's located in the restricted industrial zone. It's involved with the storage of construction materials and equipment, and the cost of the improvements exceed a minimum investment of $50,000. So currently we're taxing, this property is being taxed as vacant land as was there before the construction. So we had an assessment on the vacant land of $182,560. So it currently generates $5,430 in taxes per year. And that won't change. That they'll continue to pay taxes on the land. The assessed value of the new office warehouse is going to be about $412,300, and you may award an abatement up to 100%. And the tax savings for this particular property would be $12,270 per year. Now again, this is personal property, isn't included in the abatement. They own a significant number of motor vehicles, trucks, vans, and construction equipment. So I estimate the personal property taxes will probably be in the neighborhood of $9,000 per year.
And what's great about this is we take the first numerator, which is the differential from vacant land to this new office warehouse building, and you spread that out over 30 years, it's $136,800 differential. And then you add in the motor vehicles that you tax day one.
Right.
That's another $270,000 to the town of New Milford. So by doing this type of investment that we do, you're looking at almost a $400,000 net positive to the town by doing this type of investment to our business community. And also the jobs that this entity would be bringing in. You know, they'd be shopping, buying their merchandise, buying their gas, buying everything else in our town as well.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of these businesses too are our volunteers that help on boards and commissions and help nonprofits and everything else. So to me, this is another big win-win for us. Does anybody have any questions?
It's a great use. This is a great use of this tax abatement.
Thank you, Tom. Any other discussion? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to move that we approve the abatement for the 48 Still River Drive property.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Right.
Okay, so the last one is 30 Kent Road, microbrewery and restaurant. This application pertains to the construction of a 1,064 square foot kitchen addition. So a lot of you know that this is currently used as a brewery, but they've added a kitchen addition so they can serve food here. So this abatement would apply to the addition. So in terms of our abatement ordinance, it's in the restricted business zone, so it qualifies by location. The property will be used for hospitality, slash exceed $50,000.
Schedule. Interest rates are still where we want them to be, at about around 5%. We are seeing an expected slowdown in the actual dollars collected. That is due to our declining cash position, which is normal. As you know, we collect revenue for the most part into influxes in July and January. So as first installment of taxes come in, we slowly draw down on those cash reserves to meet our obligations. So still our revenue for interest income is exceeding our expectations, and for the first 4 months we are already at 71%. On that note, I am working with our banking partners to further leverage our resources and to possibly redo our account structures just to maximize that return in our other assets. So we'll see what that result is going to come to. But other than that, from the state, everything is coming in on schedule. Other departments are performing as expected. Some lines we do see over delivery in our projections, which is always great to see on the revenue side. So far, nothing that we don't expect to collect or we don't foresee any major issues. So far, good news on the revenue side. Do you have any questions? With that, we'll move on to the expenditure. Similar 4 months into the fiscal year, no major issues resurfaced. We are moving, along our budget projections. Similar for our expenditure lines, you can see a straight line trend for salaries line, pretty much only salaries lines. You should see about 32% spent in those accounts. Some may be a little bit over or under. That is due to natural fluctuations in those lines. There were either some accounts could be front loaded, or there's a changeover in the departments. So no issues actually resurfaced. It's just basically business as usual. We still see 2 overtime lines exceeding our expectations, but so far departments should be able to cover those overages within their budget, so they don't really present any material impact. For other accounts, again, expenses coming in where we expect them to be. Some are front loaded, so you may see 60 or 90% expended, which is normal. And some accounts could be due to outstanding purchase orders. But other than that, operating as expected, which is great news at this point of time. I'll take any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Olga? Thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 12, I'd like to move that we approve the reallocation of ARPA funds. So it's an adjustment. You can see on the attachment, is that the, no, that's not 12A. Was there a number on that attachment? Oh, you're handing it out now. That's why I didn't know.
Second.
Thank you, Tom.
Bob? There you go. I know, I forgot to show it.
Barb, who's from me too.
No.
That's everybody, right?
Yep. Do you have any others? Okay.
Okay. So first, the sheet that, before we get into the reallocation, I'd ask Olga to help me out and go through in totality what we have done. This was as of 11/18/2024. So to go over some of the things, so as you see, like for instance, and these were initial appropriations, the ARPA ambulance, there's no available money, we've used all that money. Okay, the ARPA dam repair, you can see what's available is $985,867.25. That is going out for a bid that will be completed prior to January of this year. And when Olga had spoken to our bond counsel and also to our auditor who's helping us with American Relief Funds. Is it correct, Olga, as long as we have a contract, a bid award, contract, or an MOU, then that makes that appropriation safe to use up until 2026.
So that makes it an obligation to spend.
And then you can see ARPA business grants. We have a few left. I believe these will be done by January anyway, but there's an MOU for that. And then there's the fire marshal. This is money that was, when we did all of our purchases, there was still money left over. So that's $5671.63. So we're going to sweep that into the account. Then, as you can see, you have the fire department burn building. There's $6,214 left. We're going to pay that to the fire department because that's still needed to erect the fire burn building as it's still going through the process with Century Brass. Then you have the youth agency ARPA. We are sweeping $139,425 from that into the account. The JPC roof, $144,850. We're waiting on the bid and then contract for that roof work. Senior Advisory Board, that will be an MOU, so that means we're going to still use that, $9,778.69. The same for the Good Samaritan Fund, same for the Hope Fund, same for the EMS Operation Manager that we approved. COVID Town Relief is $121,219.53, sweep an estimated 90 after alert now. Child Care Assistance, which is $64,019, we're going to reallocate that to the Good Samaritan Fund. The Brownsfield Grant, which is $464,500, that's at bid, then to contract. ARPA Home Improvement, which is $76,039.61, that's going to be an MOU to use. Libraries Makerspace, $32,337.15 will be spent. The Arts Commission, $85,027.18. They're going to sweep an estimated $40,000 after the invoices are paid. The Domestic Violence Advocate, $104,695.76. There's an MOU, as you'll see when we get into the appropriations, which will cover the person for the fiscal year 25 and 8 months of fiscal year 26. The Silo Improvements, $42,049.41, that's at bid. The Lover's Leap Bridge, $146,800, that's at bid. The Boardman Bridge, $79,933.39. We've increased the PO to do the work to get this to the Watson grant. The Butterbrook roof, which we had left over, $6,424.24, that's being swept. The Chinarsky Bridge, $428,500, that's at bid. The Water Safety Program, $3,034, that's being paid. Veterans Medical Equipment, $17,500, that will be spent. Fire truck radios that we talked about before, $79,118.04, that will be spent. If you go over to the next page, you'll see where this pans and matches out. And then moving to the 12A and 12B that was in your packet, the ARPA. So we're looking to relocate out of ARPA funds to be closed out. The Fire Marshal, $56,7163. Town COVID, $71,253. Child Care, $64,19. Arts, $65,832.53. Butterbrook Roof, $64,24.24. Addiction Services, $24,000, and that's to be supplanted by the Opioid Settlement Funds account, which has over $200,000. And then to relocate, my request is to relocate the funds of the closeout ARPA funds, and we have our firemen that are here that can talk about this, as well as ambulance. $40,000 for their fire turnout here from Northville, that's a partial. $47,279.82 for Water Witch radio gear. $40,000 for Gaylord fire request, partial. $42,605 for the ambulance, their request, partial. And then as you'll see as I hand it out tonight, from ARC, and that is $30,000. I'll talk to that in just a moment. And that $30,000, I'll explain why the $24,000 that's going to be, with your approval, circulated back to the relocation, why it's important as it pertains to ARC and their request. Then $43,656.38 is for the mental health person to even up. And then the $64,019 is to the Good Samaritan Fund. So I'd like to start first with the, I'd like to start first with the request of $30,000 from ARC. And for those that don't know who ARC is, we have Ms. here from ARC to represent. So this is and I'll let you explain in just a moment, this is the homeless shelter in Danbury. And when we have homeless shelter services that we need, support staff, as you know, our homeless shelter is seasonal. Actually, what ARC does is this is all of the time. And what they do is they try and provide the support to get people into permanent housing. Currently in New Milford, we have 5 people. And in speaking with ARC, I'll let you come out and talk. There is a need for funding. And my suggestion is that New Milford, we pay $30,000, which was a recommendation from ARC to really kind of do our part in helping with that homeless shelter that our residents from New Milford use. So if you come on up and talk a little bit about ARC.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Steve, members of the City Council. Thank you for having me here tonight. For the record, I'm Bizna Rowan. I'm the Health Program Coordinator for the Danbury Health and Human Services Department, right down there in Danbury. And just to give you a little bit of a history of our homeless shelter in Danbury, prior to the pandemic, the homeless shelter was run by the City of Danbury itself. And it wasn't a 24-hour operation, it was just an overnight. So on average, we get about 20 homeless individuals who, it's really a first come, first serve, but reserved mainly for Danbury residents. So we didn't get a lot of outsiders, if any at all. During the pandemic, when we had that emergency, we had emergency funding that was released by the state. And with that funding and part of the state's additional funding, we utilized the hotel at Exit 4. And that became kind of a regional homeless shelter that serviced almost everybody within the greater Danbury area, from Brookfield all the way as far as Bridgeport and Waterbury. So after a few years of that, we were forced to move the shelter operations back to 41 New Street, which was run by the City of Danbury. And instead of the Danbury Health Department managing and running it directly, what we did was we put it out to nonprofit organizations, and ARC, run by Ari, if you don't know Ari Rosenberg, stepped up and took over the shelter operation. So part of my role with the City of Danbury is to have oversight over the homeless shelter. When we realized that the homeless situation has kind of worsened with the growing population and the growing hardship after the pandemic, we decided to purchase 98 Elm Street, which is literally about a 1-minute walk away from the 41 New Street shelter and kind of central to the services that the homeless population needed. That increased our bed space from 20 to an additional 20, both male and female. One just happens to be congregate living, the other being a dormitory style living. And the caveat to that was we had to receive Department of Housing funding, which was roughly $230,000 in addition to another $150,000 that the city had to beg the state for in order to successfully run the operation for this fiscal year. And like the mayor said, we are taking, it is kind of per se a regional shelter because we're not turning folks away. So we're receiving homeless individuals from Bethel, surrounding area, Fairfield, Richfield, New Milford. We do have 5 New Milford residents. And it's not a permanent style homeless shelter. What it is, in actuality, is a Danbury Service Center where we give them the resources they need, whether it's to find a job or to receive permanent housing. So we have a total of 6 full-time staff members and about a dozen part-time under ARC, 4 case managers and 2 shelter managers who oversee the operations over there at 41 New Street in Danbury and 98 Elm Street. So it's not permanent, temporary, get them in, get them out. Some folks are there for about 2 weeks, other folks are there about 3 months. And they do have the opportunity to, they have the opportunity to turn down housing wherever we find it, but on the 3rd one, if they don't accept that housing, then we probably relocate them to a different shelter where they can start from ground zero again in their case management. So what I come to you, on behalf of ARC, is with hat in hand, but because my hair is too nice, I don't wear a hat. So, so we're asking kindly the folks of New Milford if you could help out ARC in funding a couple of those beds. I know we requested $30,000. I'm not sure what the actual numbers are, Mr. Mayor, between you and Ari, but it is a shared responsibility. The homeless population is an overlooked population, and it's not just a problem that exists within Danbury. It's a problem that exists throughout the whole entire state. But we are getting a lot better at it. We've had, since the opening of the shelter at 4 Lake Avenue during the pandemic, we've had over 100 people placed in permanent housing. The last year alone, I believe we had about 70 placed in permanent housing. So we're not talking about people coming in and moving in and staying there for the long term. We're asking for additional help so we can get these folks out of the homeless shelter into individual living, independent living.
Anybody have any questions, Mary Jane?
I just want to say ARC is an amazing organization, and I truly appreciate everything they do. So I'm president of New Milford Affordable Housing, and we have Brookside Commons, which is 12 units for the people that come in there, come in from the 211 system. So basically homeless. We have domestic violence, veterans, people with drug, alcohol addiction problems, and ARC comes in and provides our clients that live there with case management. So it's been an amazing partnership with ARC.
It's been with us as well. They're very good at what they do. They're absolutely great and wonderful. They're an asset to the city of Danbury as a whole, and the amount of work, the amount of attention they give to the homeless population is above reproach.
Yeah, very awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So far?
The letter from Ari references money coming from the opioid settlement resources and not.
That would be in addition to.
In addition to.
And that would be up to the opioid committee to talk about that and then bring back their recommendations to the council. But as a minimum, I think New Milford's part should be this $30,000 injection into the homeless shelter that they supply down there. We have 5 residents now in New Milford.
No denying the need, that's for sure. Is this a 1-year sponsorship of these 2 beds?
Yes.
Okay, and anticipating future requests?
What's that, Katie? Just 2. It would be 2 coming from here, and then depending on the opioid settlement committee, if they make a recommendation for 2, then you'd have 4. That's going to come from them. This particular tranche of money is from the American Relief Funds,
Right.
so it would be for the 2 from there.
So, just a quick question. So, 2, and let's say you have people in them, would New Milford receive first dibs, or how does that work?
So,
Because I got the idea from Ari
so in
that it was
speaking,
sponsoring.
in speaking with the rabbi, because we are helping and paying into the system and helping that respect, we would be looked at favorably.
Okay. Right, sort of, you know.
There is a waiting list on the 211 system.
Yep.
It is kind of first come, first serve, but we smile at the fact that there's $30,000 waiting for the Milford residents at the shelter. They wouldn't be turned away.
Great.
And again, for those that are maybe watching and here on the town council, so we have Jake Schneider, who's our police officer, boots on the ground. He has used this service several times to success in bringing those that are homeless and need down to there where they can get the services that are a lot more than we have here in New Milford. And as we all want to put somebody on the right track and get them up on their feet and get them, to success. So. Does anybody have any other questions concerning the shelter? Okay. Did everybody get a chance to look at the other allocations? So you have the turnout gear that the Northville chief was talking about, which is needed for Northville. You have Waterwitch here for the radio gear that completes their request for the radios that they need as we migrate in and doing a lot of mutual aid to our towns to the south. And then you have Gaylordsville, as you can see, their request is a partial. So I'm requesting some of this to come out of American Relief, and then some of it going to be coming out of our capital reserve, which will be the next motion, if this is approved. Same with the New Milford ambulance. The mental health is to continue with the mental health Hey, Jason, what she called mental health,
It's a social worker.
social worker? Yep,
So it's 10 hours for that.
yep. And then obviously money to go into social services, Good Samaritan Fund. So does anybody have any questions concerning the reallocation?
That's Katie's motion, right? This, from this to this, correct?
Yes.
Could I just, could you just go over exactly what qualifies for ARPA funds? Do we have, I don't know, Randy?
Oh, that would be all good.
Okay. What exactly, what's the categories and whatever qualifies for ARPA funds?
So,
I don't remember, I know we've probably had a discussion about it before, but I just would like to kind of review what the qualifications are.
Sure. So originally, when ARPA funds were allocated, there were some restricted uses for municipalities. However, as the time went on, the purpose of ARPA funding was further extended. And basically for municipalities that received under $10 million, the use is very broad. So there are some, I guess, certain areas that they would like to see investment in infrastructure, like sewer, but it's really more targeted to help the community to move forward. So they really, as far as New Milford is concerned, because we did receive under $10 million, it's a broad. There are really no restrictions other than ineligible uses, which is contribution to the pension fund, legal settlements, and I'm not sure if there's anything else as far as restrictions concerned. But other than that, it's everything that the community feels it needs to recover and to establish something new. Basically, if the town did not have previous funding for programs that they wanted to fund, ARPA is eligible for that.
So I have a question, like, just for instance, on Chernisky Bridge, why is that not coming out of the infrastructure bill?
this was something that we approved in the very first round. And this was infrastructure. Obviously, the bridge needed to get done. So that's a qualifier, is infrastructure. We have used it in the past. And to me, as I stated before, to be able to use these type of funds to offset what would be a cost to the taxpayer is a win-win, especially as we were coming out of COVID. So rather than having to tax the additional amount to a homeowner or a property owner or business owner, this was a way that we could do with these type of funds to offset those costs, so it's not impacting the taxpayer and the community at large.
But there's the infrastructure bill that, Biden passed, so why would the money for the bridge not, wouldn't it be better to get the money out of that versus?
It doesn't qualify.
It doesn't qualify.
Yeah. The allocation and the allocation and the determination of the Chernisky Bridge was prior to that. So that wasn't sure, it was beyond shovel ready, it was already approved, as a matter of fact, and the funding was already in place, as I understand it. So it was too early for that, if you will. It's a good question, I had the same one in Cornwall.
Yeah, and the other thing is about the Brownsfield grant. It's a lot of money coming out of there, the Brownsfield grant. And there's just so many questions and issues in relationship to the whole thing that I just don't understand exactly why that's.
Yeah, and Mary Jane, great question, but also depending what we do there, if anything at all, right? You're gonna need to know what the position of the DPW plant as it currently is now. So no matter what you do, whether you do nothing, you're still gonna wanna know the contamination or any kind of levels that are there. That building and that facility's been there since the 1940s. Also next to it, you have the old abandoned gas terminal. So that's gonna need to get some Brownsfield funding as far as what that looks like, how do you remediate that in those properties? And to get those type of grants, it's sometimes better to have some seed money that the town can invest. That holds better weight for a grant than it would be if you're just trying to get all the money as well. So these are things that we would need to do anyway to do these phases. I mean, Jack, can you talk about that a little more than I can? We're gonna need to do anyway.
we're applying for these grants, and in the grant application, we have to tell them, we give them a plan, what we're doing for investigation, then what we think we're gonna do for remediation, and then what the ultimate use of the property is. They don't wanna just give you the money and then they wanna know what you're doing and what you're planning on doing, and some scope of the work, and then they want a tentative schedule. You know, we do our best that we can as far as estimating the schedule. We look at what the DEP requirements, the EPA requirements are. So we put those grants together trying to look ahead. It's a long process, but you need to have that information up front in order to continue getting future grants. Now, it's the same thing we're doing with the bridge. We're doing investigatory work right now on the bridge so we can get the next step for the bridge. So a lot of times we have to do like surveys and investigations. I hope I answered your question.
Do we have any other questions, comments? We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Any abstentions? Thank you, everyone.
Item 12B.
Was that part of
Well, we just did the reallocation part.
Okay.
We still have to, right?
Sorry.
Okay. So 12B as in boy, I'd like to move that we appropriate from the ARPA funds, from the capital list, which is attachment 12A, 12B, the reallocated ARPA funds to the funds listed on that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Item 12C, I'd like to move that we appropriate $898,135, I'm sorry. That's supposed to be a decimal point.
There's a
Please,
mistake there.
please.
No.
$898,135.71 out of the town's capital reserve for the items that are listed on the attachment. That didn't have a number, that did it, 12C?
Yep, 12C.
12C on the.
Second.
Right.
Thank you, Tom. And then, I'll give you this one after. Absolutely. So we have for the appropriations, first, we're going to start with DPW. So if we could have Jack and Chris come in and talk about the importance of why we need the M2-106 plow truck with the Norcom radio. We'll start with that first.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, residents of the town. DPW is, currently we have 2 trucks, Freightliner 114 SDs that are at the body shop. Every time we call for updates, we get delayed. The trucks were tentatively to be delivered prior to October 1st, and I'm now being told it may be February, March, April. I have gone out of my way with my team to look into talking to Freightliner themselves and working with State DOT. Freightliner and State DOT are now building spec trucks at multiple bodybuilders to make the turnaround times much quicker. Freightliner is now building so many of them that they now basically have them on the lot, pre-built, ready to buy as if you were to buy any car for yourself at home.
So Chris, for those watching, those in the audience and our town council here, so for those that are saying, well, you've got 2 brand new plow trucks that are going to come in March and February. So what does this M2-106, what's that replacing? What's that going to do?
So this truck could be used as a frontline truck as soon as it hit the parking lot. My spreadsheets back at the shop, working with Jack here, we're trying to replace trucks every 15 years, give or take the wear and tear on them. The plow trucks for the town take a lot of abuse. I currently have 5 trucks that are already outdated. They should have been replaced as of last fiscal year. Obviously, we work within the budget, but we're trying to do what we can. So we've got 2 trucks on order. We're trying to purchase this truck, and we're specifically looking at a pre-built mid-size plow truck for the town to kind of fit a new criteria so that if I have a large truck go down, it can handle a larger route. And if I have a small truck go down, it's still small enough to fit on the town green, West Street area, stuff like that. And with the turnaround time for even our small trucks, our Ford 550s, I have one of those that is basically slotted to be replaced next fiscal year. So it's kind of a backup to 2 large trucks, but it's kind of also a pre-purchase replacement for a small truck.
Okay. Anybody have any questions so far on the plow truck M2106? The next is another appropriation of $400,000 for drainage. So speaking with Jack, our drainage account, due to the fact that we've had lots and lots of rain, lots and lots of water, when they do their drainage projects, we don't put in the same amount of drainage now. We actually increase the pipe and increase the drainage. And so what does that mean? Basically, it's depleted our operations account for drainage work. So continue the drainage work that we need to do as climate change has really hit New Milford, right? We're asking for the additional appropriation to continue with our drainage projects throughout this coming spring. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Next is the tax assessor. So we have Brian here. So the tax assessor, and I'll let him talk a little bit about it. We went out to bid, and we're going to go to reval in the next year. And when we went out to bid, actually the bid prices were higher than what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So, as you know, we're required to do reassessments once every 5 years. Every town in the state is required to do one every 5 years. So, we're due to complete one for October 1, 2025. So we went out to bid over the summer, and we received a bid from Vision Government Solutions. They've done our reassessments here in town since the 1990s. And their bid came in at $253,000. Over the years, we've been putting money aside for reassessment. And currently we have $173,500 available. So the $253,000 represents Vision Government Solutions bid. The mayor and I have also talked about a specialized appraisal that we would like to get concerning the First Light properties.
Of which we as a council have talked about before.
Which we've talked about obviously before through previous years in litigation. With First Light, and what we're trying to do is get out in front of it, you know, get a fair and equitable value by a respected utility expert, and you know, to be part to have the assessment on the grand list as of the revaluation. So Sansucci Associates has given us a quote of $40,000 to prepare appraisal reports for both the Rocky River Power Generation Plant and the Bulls Bridge generation facility. So when we add that up, the Vision Government Solutions in the Sansucci proposal, that equals $293,000. And again, we have $173,500 set aside. So the difference is $119,500. That's the additional appropriation we're looking for.
As you can see, we were looking at doing this as option, first option.
Yes.
And that then allows Brian, with your approval and town council and board of finance and town meeting approval, this will allow us to go out and not only have Vision do it for us, but also get the appraisal for First Light. Any questions for Brian? Okay. Next, as you can see, the Max needs a new refrigerator, right? Freezer, sorry. Needs a new freezer. And the quote you saw, which was in the packet for the new freezer. And Jason, the new freezer is gonna, as we rent out the Max now for parties, and we also have Litchfield Hills Transition School in there as well.
So this is the freezer for the kitchen itself. So this is where our youth agency staff for our dances, as well as renters, put their immediate items in. In the last year, Facilities has done their best to keep the old one, which has to be at least 15 to 20 years old at this point, up and running. We've lost food that we'd have to throw away. Renters have lost food that they've had to throw away. And so it's just much needed. And it's directly in the kitchen. It's a single door freezer.
Any questions for Jason? Okay, next, as you can see, the New Milford Ambulance, 541827, that's to complete the capital request. So it's in combination of both ARPA and town surplus. Galisville Fire Department, $33,528.10 for their completion of their radio request. $20,887 for the completion of the turnout gear request for Northville. And now I have Chief Ceruto here, as well as Dave Watson, our IT director. So the first one we're talking about is the camera system that we have in the New Milford Police Department. Obviously, we're going to keep this as general as we possibly can, as we're in public session here. But Dave Watson, with the help of the chief, and they do audits on these things probably every quarter. And when Dave was doing these audits, one of the concerns was this system is approaching the end of life. Dave, if you want to talk a little bit about it in as general terms as we can, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the need for expediency for the PD, and the chief is here. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, so of course at the PD, it's not just exterior cameras, they have interior cameras as well. Among other locations they have those cameras are inside the cells, but the perimeter as well. All that camera system is being replaced, and doing so timely before it becomes a more significant headache would behoove us. And the same would be true as far as time frame for the town hall camera system as well.
Chief?
Yeah, so obviously we have technology we're dealing with, and end of life comes in that 10-year range, and that's where we're at. The cameras are necessary for the safe operation and security of our facilities, both on the exterior and interior. And Dave will be our project manager for this, and we are looking at this as a need, not a want.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any questions on the New Milford Police Department camera project?
So one question. How long will it take you to get it going to what needs to be?
Yeah, so in speaking with the vendor, they actually might be able to get us scheduled relatively soon. I know there's still a time frame of approvals that need to occur here, so we don't have anything finalized from them, but I would imagine sometime within Q1 of next year, calendar, this would likely be completed. I believe it's about a 7-day install from start to finish, give or take.
So within, like you said, first quarter or so, hopefully.
I would imagine sometime January or February. Until we can finalize our process, they can schedule us, but that's the general idea that we got from them.
Thanks.
And then the same will be true of Town Hall.
Thank you.
Town Hall is the same issue that we have. Obviously, here at Town Hall, we want to protect our employees as well as our residents that use Town Hall. Similar end of life. If approved tonight, for the edification of the council and those that are watching here as well, is because we made the appropriation and was approved at the town meeting, and has since been, as Olga could tell you, $2.4 million check was cashed. That came out of capital reserve per our charter. Now everything that we do that would come out of an appropriation that is not budgetary would have to go through the 3 levers, which is town council, board of finance, and the town meeting. So this request would, if approved by you and the board of finance, would then go to a town meeting, hence the requested dates that you'll see on the agenda. Any questions so far on the capital reserve request? I'd like to entertain a motion. which Katie already has. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, everyone.
Item 11D, I'd like to move that we set a date for a special town meeting concerning the ARPA funds and capital appropriations.
Second.
For December 9th, 2024, our next meeting.
Do you have time for that?
What would you like, Mayor, 6:30?
6:30?
6:30 PM, December 9th, 2024.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Seconded by the mayor. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay, item C, 12, that can't be E, sorry, my eyes. Economic Development Report
Thank you.
for the mayor.
First start off is looking at statistics for the Connecticut unemployment. As a state, we are at 2.5%. Here in New Milford, we are at 2.2%. 14,825 of our residents are employed, and 326 are unemployed. Obviously, we want everyone that would want a job, we want to make sure that they can get a job. But if you're looking at it purely economically, a 2.2, an economist would tell you that we are fully employed. As far as some of the things that are going on in the Milford Chamber of Commerce, I went to their networking scene last week. Their next one is December 12th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. That's at the Housatonic River Brewery. And if you own a business or manage a business or want to network, this is a great event to do so. It's a free event. The Chamber puts it on, so thank you to the Board of Directors of Bob Bailey for putting it on. Also want to thank the World Atlas as they named New Milford one of 8 of the most comfortable towns for seniors in New England. So if you do, you can go onto the mayor's page and hyperlink to there. Talks about why they picked New Milford as one of the 8 most comfortable places. So thank you to them. I want to thank Paul and Lynn, the owners of Paul's Custom Pet Food. Talked about this a little bit before. So they did their Pups Giving this past Saturday. Also want to thank Tony Vengrove, BD Provisions, Litchfield Distilleries, as they help, and Doggylicious as they help with this annual event. We talked about the Gallery 25 as well. And then for those that commute to New York City, starting on January 5th, all passenger vehicles, motorcycles, trucks, and non-commuter buses entering the city of Manhattan Central Business District, which is below 60th Street, will pay a $9 fee, toll fee. So just to let you know, you're going in there, it's going to cost you $9. They call it congestion fee. At each detection point, cameras and Easy Pass readers are installed to capture vehicle information from all traffic lanes. These enclosures would house the license plate reader cameras, illuminators, and antenna for this project. Also want to thank Lou Andler, our chairman of the Commission on the Arts, as they have a brand new website. For those that would like to check it out, it's www.artsnewmilfordct.org. It can give you all the great information, and this is one of the things that helps us as far as our continued efforts to become a cultural district. Hopefully I'll have good news for the council at our next meeting concerning that. The Women's Business Development Council, some of the things that they are doing to help us is they're doing a co-working space and podcast room, which is available for client use. You can go to their website or you can email coworknl@ctbdc.org if you'd like to reserve the space. And they're available on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're going to extend hours as so moved. Then virtually, they have a workshop, new business registration requirements for all businesses. And then who should attend this workshop is business owners. If your company was created or registered before January 1st, 2024. New business owners, if you're creating or registering a company, you have 90 days from registration to file your report. So this is a great virtual class to take to help you be compliant with the regulations when it comes to that. There are also, for those in the Waterbury area, New Milford as well, Waterbury's in the Small Business Mastermind. That is at the WBDC Waterbury office, which is 132 Grand Street, second floor. And that's, you can work with other entrepreneurs and boost your business for the new year. It's a supportive group. You'll discuss challenges, brainstorm solutions, celebrate each other's success. And sometimes it's great when you do start a business, or maybe you're stuck with your business, want to get it to the next level. I know, Katie, for many years you did still do consultative work. To network and brainstorm people is a very valuable thing.
Only takes one good idea to change what's happening.
Financial Foundations QuickBooks Online Office Tour. That's also a virtual classroom by the women's business group. I'll be posting, I have posted some of this on the mayor page, as well as our economic development page. So please click the link for more information. And then the Connecticut Small Business Development Center, they launched their December cohort, Managing Money in Your Business for Connecticut Small Businesses. This also is a free online. It starts on December 3rd. And then they also have one on the 5th, the 10th, and the 12th. And you can learn to track the money that's a receivable and a payable. You can learn to read your financial statements, which can improve your profitability of your business. You can understand the lending process. For a lot of people, that's very important because cash flow is king in business. And then you can also understand the role of personal and business credit. And you can check all of this out. This is a free and online interactive course. Now there's also another free course, Connect with Top Buyers and Industry Experts, which is a Supplier Connection Growth Summit and Matchmaker. That's on December 4th and 5th. And you can meet directly with some of the region's top buyers. If you have a business that would like to supply Blue Trenton, Charter, General Dynamics, Eversource, Lumen, Pitney Bowes, Pratt & Whitney, Purdue Pharma, Sikorsky, Stanford Health, State of Connecticut, Synchrony Financial, University of Connecticut, Webster Bank, Xerox, to just name a few. On December 12th, there is another virtual that you could take, which is Key Trends to Watch in 2025. How to reach your market and shape your message. That's another free virtual meeting. Another one, business advisor Nelson Merchant. He's been here, I think he was here about a couple of years ago. He talks about a success, which is a client is Rehydrate IV Infusion. What's great is, like Marching and those guys, if you have a business, you can talk about different issues with them. They've got a great networking team there. You can bounce some ideas off the wall with them. And it's another great resource that our business community can have. As far as some of the new businesses opening up, Planet Fitnesses is going to be opening in Staples Plaza. Club 24, which was in back at Walmart area, now will be moving to where Phys Ed used to be. And then Walmart's doing a significant renovation within their warehouse and office space. And as a reminder to those that are watching, please, if you haven't done so already, check out newmilfordnow.org. That's our community and our tourist website, which gives you all sorts of great information about the community at large, as well as great places to eat, to dine, to shop, a wonderful site to use. And also for those that may be looking to invest in New Milford or expand here, you can see how the community is with some great stories that Deborah does. It also leads into another great resource we have here is Notify New Milford. And you can go to the town webpage down at the bottom right-hand corner, click on the icon, now, or Notify New Milford, sorry, and confused. And and that will opt you in to real-time notifications when it comes to traffic alerts, weather-related alerts, where our crews are working during the day. Gives you all sorts of great information real time, right on your phone, laptop, or Apple, or other devices that you have as well. And then lastly, you had asked about a position that we put in for economic development. It's a hired position, and this is a admin position for for our business community. And what this position is going to do, Mary Jane, in talking with a lot of our businesses, both that had expanded here or looking to build here or renovate here or move here, one of the things they were having difficulties with is actually navigating our systems. One of them is our view permit system that we have. So how we normally start is you have a business that would come in and looking to, say, move to here. First thing we do is we do what's called a DST meeting, so it's the Department Services team. And that you'll have your land use, you'll have your zoning, inland wetlands, fire marshal, building inspector, you'll have sewer if they're on the sewer district. You also have our health department and public works if it's on a town road where we need to do driveway cuts. What'll happen is the potential person will come in and say, this is what I'm kind of looking to do. What are my headwinds? Is it something that's doable? And using this as a scenario analogy, saying that it is. So they decided to put in an application. Let's say that first they put it into zoning. And then what happens is sometimes they either do that themselves or they hire a professional service firm that's not familiar with New Milford and its nuances. So what can happen is that application could be incomplete. It goes into zoning, and an incomplete application could cause problems not only in a delay of any kind of action that zoning would do, but also those other applications that are already in there that are full applications then are hindered because you have these other applications that are in front of them. So one of the things this person is going to be doing, and has started already, is first those that have gone through the DST application, we're going to touch point them at least weekly to see if it's something they still want to do. If they do, is there any headwinds that they may think that they may need? What resources that they would need that we could help them, assist them to steer them to? Once the application is put in, and what's going to happen is, and I'll use zoning as a for instance, a conditional sheet will come out. So zoning says, yep, this looks like it's an approved process. So here are the conditions that you need to fulfill, in other words, to get your zoning permit. So a lot of times because of communication, our actual zoning team is so busy, as you heard, with all of the growth that we've had here in New Milford, and sometimes the communication gets lost. And if you are a person that's looking to invest in town, if you can't meet that obligation, then you're going to have to wait at least another 30 to 60 days to get reheard again. And to get heard again, if you're someone that has already borrowed money, most times you're paying interest only, but you have to pay an interest payment. So that's costly to the business owner or to the landholder or to the resident. So this position is going to be hands-on, where they're the touch point for that person. They're going to be the intermediary between the applicant and our processes, whether it be the zoning board or the zoning enforcement officer or our inland wetlands officer. And their whole goal is, here's your conditional sheet, here's what they're asking you to get, where are you in the process? You know, is there any questions you may have? And that's in essence to really provide a more seamless execution of our processes. And in so doing, we have a happier workforce here at Town Hall, where they're not slammed trying to do all of these things. They can go back to where they really need, which is underwriting these applications, making sure they're proper. And that also we have the business community or residents looking to do things, that it's a more communicative process. So it's a win-win. So that's what this person's going to do.
So, yeah, so you've hired somebody?
Yes.
And can you tell us who that is?
Absolutely. Her name's Denise Whitman. So I've hired her, and she's raring to go. very excited to have her on board and looking forward to updating the council as we go through with a lot of successes that we're going to have.
So, going back to the job description, was that changed at all? Because it seemed like there was some
Yeah, it's changed.
incongruence
Yeah,
between.
absolutely, Mary Jane. It's changed a little bit as the needs of really what this job would be for. Hearing the business community as I have, the real pain points have been, and I know Paul has heard the same thing. I've heard from him, other councilmen, I've heard people from other boards and commissions as well, that the real pain point has been this, where these applications get stuck. And what's happening is it's causing a lot of angst, and it's really causing a lot of additional time, both for our boards and commissions and land use employees and the business community. So kind of pivoting to really the need, which right now is to really make sure this process is seamless, and that way it can be a more efficient process.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I'm not questioning the
Yeah.
idea. I'm just questioning about the job description that was handed out and the $60,000. It seemed to be a much more detailed, elaborate job versus somebody who's going to get paid $60,000.
I think that if it's done correctly, which I believe this person will do, what's happened is, as the mayor was saying, things have gotten complicated over here, but the applicant doesn't really understand that. They come to a meeting and then they're told, well, no, and they have to wait
Yeah, I
and
don't
come
have
to
any
another.
problem with that. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
but
about
this,
that.
but following this isn't so simple as it seems. Even with the DST, there's still now, compared to when I was in planning even, that it's all, just people are everywhere now and they want to come here and be taken care of right away. So not only do we need somebody that knows what they're doing, but we also have to keep our external customers, if you will, happy, along with our internal customers. And a person with a good tracking ability and a good idea of what goes on here can help those people we have in our land use area that are so busy they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I
Yeah,
don't have a
so-
problem with that. Could we
Well,
get a copy
but that's
of
what
the
it's gonna
revised
take.
job
Absolutely.
description?
If that's what it's gonna take,
Yeah.
then that's what it takes, because having somebody who doesn't make that much or somebody part-time,
Is this person part-time or full-time?
Full-time.
Full-time.
so we know what happens without the right person. And it's caused us a lot of angst with the public, applicants, right? So we
Any
need a
other
situation.
questions?
Sounds like a good idea.
So I'll get that over to you tomorrow and to the council.
Close it.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
I think you say move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Happy Thanksgiving,
All
everybody.
those in
Motion
favor?
to adjourn.
Happy
All those in
Thanksgiving.
favor?
Aye, aye, aye.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
There you go.
Thank you.